Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and as you can see on my head, there's something fancy there. We're going to be getting ourselves some wireless crafting set up and finish getting into nuclear craft some more. Yeah, something like that. I hope you guys are ready. So today I want to set up a few things that are going to make our life a little bit easier. We're still waiting on things to process. It's still taking a bit of time. We do have a bit that we could probably use to get to this point, but I'm sure that later on it's going to be it's going to take even longer for these things to process. But in that time, we can actually work on things that are going to make it a little bit easier for us, so we don't have to walk back and forth so much. And to get started with this, I'm going to go ahead and start off with a simple charger. I want to work towards a wireless crafting terminal, but this is going to require power. We don't have anything to charge things with other than the simple charger from Ender.io, which is going to be really easy to make. It's not too difficult at all. So all we got to do is put this thing together. Is it iron we're missing? What was it that I was missing? It was iron, right? So yes, I'm going to need to grab a bit of iron. So we'll go ahead and get all that stuff started. But this, for the most part, is going to be pretty simple to craft and even upgrade, because upgrading it is not going to be too hard either. So I went ahead and made the simple machine. We are going to need some dye blend. Let's go ahead and grab one of those, and we'll go ahead and get that processed over here. We need one of these for the upgrade. So let's go ahead and get this one made. This is the simple wired charger. And then to upgrade, all we have to do is just have an industrial one with some electrical around it. Oh, I guess we had some industrial chassis laying around. Anyways, there's our wire charger. Perfect. We do need to get this hooked into our power grid somewhere. And for right now, I'm going to place it back here connected to this. It is going to need a component, and we're going to have to probably buy a few more grains of infinity for. I'm just going to go ahead and get 16 of those. We have money flowing in. We're almost at 1 million right now. That's kind of crazy with our money. So let's get some capacitors. And we're just going to go with this for right now, a regular basic. We should be able to upgrade to a double. So let's go ahead and upgrade to a double. We'll throw that in there. That should get going, get charged up, and allow us to get started on getting what everything it takes to make a wireless crafting terminal. This thing is amazing, but it does take some steps in order to get it. So let's go ahead and make a Fluix Pearl. We're going to go ahead and get that made. That is going to connect up into here. Looks like we are still going to need a bunch of stuff to be crafted for this. But like I said, it's not that bad. We will need a calculation, and we should have everything for this. So there's our access point. This is going to go on top of our cable here, just like that. And we're ready to go, basically. Range, you got a small range right now. It's just a range of 16 meters with 16 blocks. And energy usage is slow. But we can add other things to this later on. The other thing that's needed is a security terminal. This is a little bit more difficult to make, as we are going to need some screens. We already have enough illumination panels. I'm going to go ahead and make some more of the formation cores, because we are going to need them later on. But we do have the screen, so it's not a big deal here. We should have the screen for even the terminal later on. So we just need a regular ME terminal for this. Bam, ME terminal done. And we should have pretty much all of the glass for the ME chest. This, however, does need a 16K storage component, which is going to require basically 9 of your logic processors to make this. So we're also going to need some calculation processors as well. So let's see. We need this right here. I think all my redstone, by the way, is down here. And we're out of logic processors. So I was getting all this stuff prepped up in order to make this a pretty smooth process. So to make these 4Ks, we need 1Ks, right? So the 4Ks require 1Ks. Let's just make sure that I know how this is working. And the 1Ks, yeah, require 9. So we're going to need 9 of these in order to get this to function. And so we're probably going to have to make some Certus Quartz crystals. Oh boy. So after getting those Certus crystals ready to go, now we should have everything in order to make those 4Ks. I do believe with some glass, we should be ready to go. Right. So 4Ks, we need 3 of those. And those are going to be used to make our 16 storage component, which is all needed for our final objective, which is going to need a engineering processor. Good thing I made some diamonds. So we have our diamonds, and Oh, actually, we don't need that. We just we should be able to throw it in here. Let's get some redstone and some silicon. And so yeah, we'll just throw that in there, get that processed up. I added some speed upgrades in here to make this a bit faster, by the way. You really want it to be fast. It's just kind of it's painful just waiting for it. So now that we have our security terminal, we are basically almost there at having everything. We can place the security terminal in the back here, not like that. I want it placed like this. What is it doing? Can you not? Why is it acting funny? There we go. So here's our security terminal. This should be hooked up and ready to go. It's connected to our network here because it's connected adjacent to our block. I don't think it has to have a cable connected to it. I don't know. We'll find out. But last thing we need is to get this set up. So we also need another Fluix Pearl. We're going to need a basic wireless terminal, which is going to need another Fluix Pearl on top of that one. And pretty much everything that we made earlier for our access point. This is going to need a ME crafting terminal, or this is going to need a regular terminal. So we might actually have to make some more screens here. I feel like we're going to need more screens. And what is it missing for the screen? Just the redstone that we put in here. Okay. So we'll go ahead and make some more screens just to be on the safe side. And we'll make this screen, which is an ME terminal screen. I think we need 2 ME terminals because later on we're going to have to convert one of those ME terminals to a crafting terminal anyways. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and do that now. And we're going to need a dense cell. So when I say dense, this is going to need... so we're going to need 8 of the regular energy cells. So actually, it's not as bad as it looks. We just need 8 of those. And Fluix... I'm gonna have to get rid of you. Like, I'm gonna have to crush you down. Unfortunately, I need all the Fluix dust. You know, we might have to do the whole thing. It's okay. We can make more charged if we need it. So there's our 8, and we need to now craft it with a calculation processor. Finish this up. We now have a wireless terminal, and then we need to finish this in making ourselves the wireless crafting terminal. Nice. So this thing is pretty much useless until we put it into this slot and link it. Now that it's linked, it still has no power, so we do need to charge it. To do that, we should be able to put it into a charger. Will this not charge this thing? Maybe this won't. It should charge it. So I'm guessing... Will the charger charge it? That seems really inconvenient to have this charge it. It is. Okay, so this is how we're going to charge this thing. So I made the charger. It's useless, but we might need to use that charger later on. We're probably going to need to use it later on for something else. I thought it was going to be able to work for this. Apparently not. We have to put this thing in here. And it has to be linked to a power source in order for it to charge. But we should be able to take it out now and utilize it. And look at this. We now have all of our stuff. So we have shift clicking. The output slot of the crafting grid will send items to your inventory. Yeah, that's how we want it to be. So here we go. Here's all of our stuff. Now, this range is not that far, right? We kind of run out of range here. But I think there are range. Maybe it's not range. Cards. Infinity booster cards are one thing that we can do. It does have a card slot in here, and I don't think it's for the infinity booster cards. But infinity booster cards are consumed by this tablet right here. And you see we have 16K units. Now we can utilize this card anywhere, including in other dimensions, I believe. So as long as we're providing this with some of these cards, we should be fine. Now, we're not collecting the cards, even though I probably should have that set up. But we're going to work on that eventually. We're going to get some other things set up that is going to help make sure we get those. We can set up bigger filters later on, and so we're going to set this up so we definitely are gaining those. So right now there's another thing that can make our life a little bit easier, and that's to get ourselves the Transmutation tablet. Now we do have the Arcane Transmutation tablet, and in some other packs I would totally recommend making the Arcane Transmutation tablet. But since everything in this pack is sort of based on EMC values and work a little bit differently than this Transmutation tablet, this one might be better off. This does have a crafting table in it. It can be useful, but this right here is probably going to be our better option, and plus it's a lot cheaper to make right now. Later on we probably will upgrade to this Transmutation tablet, but I kind of like how this tablet kind of sorts everything by EMC values, and it works a little bit differently. So let's go ahead and get some dark matter. We need 4, basically 16 of these in total to make everything we need. So we'll take that and just turn that into our blocks. We probably need to add that to our list here. That way we have that saved. And yeah, we're just going to take our current Transmutation tablet. I think we have stone. We are out of stone, aren't we? So that is completely fine with me, though, because we don't have to have all of that. We can just throw this in here. And there we go. Tons of stone. Okay. We should be able to make this now. We just need Mobius fuel for this to make another table. So there we go. There's that. And last but not least, we have ourselves a Transmutation tablet. And this is exactly the same as this, except for we can be anywhere and use it, which is so much better. So much better. And we have this. I still have this charging, by the way. It's done now. And I think we can also put this in a bobble slot. So if you go into the wireless, if you go into your options, controls, wireless crafting terminal, you can set this to a keybind. So if you have a specific thing you like to use to open it, like I like to use F to open it, and then you can go, all right, what key is using F? Swap items in hand. I never use that feature. And then there might be something else. So it doesn't look like anything else is utilizing it. So hit OK. Now, when I want to open my crafting terminal, I can. And I can put this in a bobble slot, right? We can put it on our chest, like here. We can put it on our hand. It can, I guess, go anywhere. Look at a little badge on our chest. We can put it on our belts. And we can put it up here. I kind of like it on the head. It kind of, you know, looks a little bit cooler. But you can always hit F to open it up, and now we can access it without having to have anything in our hotbar. So now that we have all of that situated, let's see what we can get out of this depleted fuel and see what we need to do moving forward in order to get other things working. So basically we're gonna need 2 setups for this. It's gonna be a little bit more complicated to be able to get what we actually need, which is some berkelium. We're gonna have to go through a few different kind of steps here. We're going to need a large amount of the Neptunium. This stuff is going to come from the TBU fuel. Also, the americium oxide, or the americium, is going to come from there as well. Not specifically the oxide, but just americium in general to make this fuel. You see right here, ingot former. We go down into the clump version. And we're going to see the fuel reprocessor is going to be depleted LEU 233 fuel. And that is going to be the 233 fuel. This stuff right here produces a lot of this. A lot of things that we are going to need. The 233 fuel requires 1 of the uranium here. And everything else should be fine. Now this stuff, I think, is what we've been processing. I believe this fuel reprocessor comes from the TB. It comes from the TB as well. Okay. So yeah, we're going to basically need all of this to be, we just kind of need to change what we're working towards. We're going to be processing a bunch of this TBU fuel, apparently. That's what it's looking like to me. And so we might just reset up a different version of this to process that TBU fuel a lot quicker, because TBU fuel is easy to make. So I spent some time building up our reactor a bit more. The only thing I did with this was just kind of continue the pattern that we've always used, and I raised it up one level and expanded it off the side a few. And now we have a 6x3x5, which is now supports 45 cells, and this is allowing us to produce or go through this fuel a lot faster, which is by far the best thing we could do. We're also producing about 4,000 RF per tick now, which is a tremendous amount of power for the things that we need. And this is what we're getting, our depleted fuel now. So we've already went through a bunch of our TBU fuel. I think we went through about 32 of those. While I went and ate dinner and things like that, I went ahead and let that run so we could continue to produce our excess. And then I went ahead and went through the depleted and ended up getting ourselves now a few of the LEN 236 fuel. And this is the stuff we need to burn through in order to get to the HEA fuel. Yes, it's a big, complicated thing that we have to go through. And we also need to burn through, I believe, a different type of fuel in order to get this. So we need to, move through this stuff. And I'll show you what this grants us. So we burn through this. And this gets us these two things, which I think is 42 and 43 is what we need. Yes, 42 and 43 is what we need in order to make this. So you see 42 and 43. So if we burn through this fuel, this grants us enough to be able to get to this point, right? Because this is that depleted fuel right here that we need to make. So if we take a look at this right here, here's the fuel right here. When you get to the depleted version, you're going to get some of this. So we need at least 2 of those in order to finish this. So let's go ahead and clump this up. That gets us 4 of those. Like I said, we're probably going to have to go through a couple of these, but we have 16 of them. I'm not too concerned about if we're going to have enough, because we are totally going to have enough. We also have enough for like plutonium. We're building up all kinds of different resources. And I can tell you, we could automate this system and run off of just the TBU fuel by itself and generate tons of power just with this reactor alone and use our EMC off of that. By the way, our EMC is doing great. I now have upgraded it to 3 of the magenta, the MK4s. And instead of just having our whole base covered, I decided, I'm just going to go ahead and cut down to just these. Even though using the 1 version of this, just using the MK1s, we could get more out of it with the current amount of EMC that we have. But I'm going to kind of go with that for right now, as it is less I have to worry about. But anyways, when this is depleted, right, I want to see how long it takes, because I think with the 45 cell setup, it burns through like it's crazy. It burns through so much. So 2 minutes is all it takes for us to get one of these depleted guys. So not much time at all, like we have to wait. And so we're getting all the resources we need in order to make the next tier fuel, which is going to unlock the berkelium, which is perfect. Another thing I wanted to show you is I went ahead and set up a little bit different of a situation down here. So down here, I set up a filter to blacklist infinity booster cards, and then through the front, I am now pulling infinity booster cards from here, and they're going to end up in this chest. This is the only way I could do it with the current filters that we have. To get to the next advanced filters, it requires some other machines that would take a bit more time to get. But I don't mind this little setup here. This is working just fine. And by the way, we have all these loot crates. I'm kind of scared to open them all, but it will grant us some more money. And it'll grant us more materials. But let's take a look first at how much money we currently have. 4 million coins right now. And let's just open a few of these. This is, of course, going to give us coins as well. It's probably going to start dropping items on the ground. That's okay, because we'll end up throwing these in here. And this is going to get us a lot of goodies, though. Especially these extractor upgrades. Those are something that are definitely worth having a few of. So yeah, let's go ahead and get these all dumped on the ground. I do not mind having a bunch of items on the ground. There is an auto opener for this, by the way, that works as well. So let's go ahead and throw all these items in here. We got a couple more to open. Yep, just one more. And then we can start throwing all of our items in here. Wow. Lots of coal I see coming out of that. But we got all this pizza and stuff. Like, we have tons of resources here. All right. So we do need our tablets back. And we're good to go. So I kind of want to try some of these Halloween lollipops. I don't think I have a cow yet, so I can't really get milk right away. It did say use milk, so I have this. I don't actually know if this... It's just a thing that says milk. Okay. All I do is milk. Nice. Well, that... I was hoping it could go on like an item frame. Can I? Can I make an item frame and just... I don't know if I can or not. Protein? That could be worth it, actually. That should make some leather. We'll get an item frame. And we'll throw some milk in there. Nice. I was hoping that would do some kind of animated texture or something. I don't know. We do have a horse. I don't think we have any cows running around the base, though. Do we? We had a horse. The horse, yeah, the horse is over there. We have a sheep. Oh, I'm so scared to do this. If we die, we die. Right? So let's eat some lollipops. Alright. We got a health boost. Has been cast on you. Alright, saturation has been cast on you. Okay, night vision has been cast on you. Okay. Feather fall. Purification. Let's just keep eating. I'm just gonna keep, you know, because what if we get... What's true sight? I have no idea what true sight is. Oh boy. Oh my. Expert tasting. All of the advancement... What is even on us right now? Oh my gosh. Night vision 3, which I don't even know what that is. Luck... We have is that invisibility, strength 2, glowing, resistance, haste, feather falling, saturation, instant health, healing booth, true sight, and purification. I have no idea what purification does, but man, we look really weird. Wow. That's a little weird. So I think this is going to be enough of the fuel. We only need 2 to be able to get to this point. So time to cut this off, pull this stuff out. Take what we have currently, and we need to remodel this whole reactor to be able to support this thing, as this base heat gen is pretty high. We have to come up with a solution for that. And that's probably going to involve just completely rebuilding all of this from scratch. Just completely rebuilding our reactor entirely. And I mean, we can still kind of go off of what we know. We do know how this thing should function. But we can do this a little bit differently. Let's take this glass here, and we're going to build this a little bit differently. It's going to be like a 3x3 sort of build, I think. Where we go here, and there's going to be one on the side. I don't know if we can have empty space here. I'm going to kind of see how that actually goes, because I want to see if we can put a cell in the center, and we surround the outside with nothing. Does this thing read out as a actual machine here, a reactor? That's kind of what I'm interested to find out. Does this count? So we need another one on this side, and if it does, we can of course replicate it. So we'll just throw this here. Of course, that is going to be a problem, isn't it? Has that been that way before? That cable was not an issue before. I think it's because we build this a little bit higher. So let's build this one higher. I hope I get all this back. Oh, man. Alright, we'll build it off of this height. We'll ignore this. We need this to be the base height here. We'll put that there. And then we're going to build up from here. Let's get our reactor there, that on top, that here, 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 and here. And then we just build around the outside. There can't be anything on the inside, I do know that. But I wonder if this is going to function the way I'm thinking it will. Is it going to read out? Okay, so it does. And it does cool faster. But it doesn't produce a lot of RF. But that's fine. But it does cover our heat cost. So, could I set this up a better way? That's the question. Because I need enough to cover one of these processes. I think this is probably going to be the best way to do that. But I guess what I can do is I could do this and just build this reactor up a bit more here. And this way, we can fit a bit more in here. We can get 2 instead of just 1. Is this going to be enough? I wish I didn't lose. I wish I wouldn't have lost all these casings. Because now I have to find support for these casings. Good thing I got some of the glass. Okay, so this should support. There we go. And this should support this fuel. So as soon as this last bit burns out, which is plenty, this next bit should be just fine. Right? I think this is showing how much is left over. We're probably overdoing it. I'm going to see whenever this heat goes through how much heat we actually have. Because we might be able to throw another cell in here. Or 2. So from the looks of it, this should work. And we're still going to end up with 72 heat. Wow, this is perfect for this. Like, this is a perfect setup. It's not producing that much power for what it is. But it's going to cut it down to 22 minutes if this fuel is going to last. And we're setting it like as low as it possibly could be. I mean, it's just about there. The efficiency's at 100%. This thing is going to work. This thing is definitely going to work. So we have our HEA 242 depleted, ready to go. And there we go. Our berkelium. Wow. Made in... What? Is that Alamdia? Wow, I'm probably totally butchering that. So, we take this... Combine that, we get ourselves a piece of berkelium. And then we take the berkelium and we break it down. And there we go. We have ourselves berkelium. Grab a stack and we've completed that. And now it's wanting us to get californium. And yes, it's only going to get more difficult from here. It's pretty much the same process as we kind of doing this stuff over and over again. Californium, though, is a little bit harder, I think, to get. This is like a top tier processing fuel. The reprocessor, we're going to need some depleted HEB 248 fuel, which is this fuel. I'm going to mark that down. So HEB, and then that comes from the berkelium. Wow, this process is going to take a long time. That, guys, is like pushing it. Because getting the berkelium of the different isotopes starts to get really difficult. Just because it takes forever for these things to process. We might start, I don't know, we might start working towards that fusion. Because I think we can get through all of that with the fusion guy. Fusion definitely could work. Making the fusion multi-block. Like, because this thing requires the matter. So we really just need to wait for our EMC to generate higher. Because all this stuff is pretty much waiting for EMC. And going through deep mob learning. I think that's something we can potentially work towards. Because this is only going to get more tedious as we go along. How far are we through the quest, by the way? 79%. So I think, isn't californium like some of the best fuel in nuclear craft? It's probably not. I'm probably, yeah. I would assume this stuff is probably some of the best. This doesn't even have the fuel processing amount. It's this stuff right up here, I believe. Which is californium. Yeah, californium is like some of the best fuel in nuclear craft. Which is pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, and yeah, it's definitely this. So, I mean, I guess that's what we're going to be working towards, is getting towards, I mean, that's kind of the last bit. And then it's probably going to branch off into some other stuff. We also need to work on our EMC production. Pink matter is something we need to make. So I definitely know that's a thing. And I think we're going to work on some more ways to gain EMC, because I think there's a few other methods other than what we're currently working with to do so. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did and you learned something new, please don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.